By now, it should be no surprise this class does not confer any type of certification, does not take the place of a live instruction with a qualified instructor. Alright, today we're going to talk about ammo. We're going to talk about the component parts of ammunition, different types of ammunition, the firing sequence of modern ammunition, and then where to look for to find the correct size of ammunition that you need for your firearm. Okay, all modern ammunition consists of the following: bullet, a case, propellant, and the primer. Okay? Okay, in the firing sequence, you put the bullet in the chamber of the gun, the firearm is cocked or made ready to shoot, and is awaiting the trigger to be pulled. Okay, when the trigger is activated, the firing pin strikes the primer. The primer contains a small explosive charge, a little tiny explosive charge, and then that explodes, sending fire into the propellant. Okay, the exploding primer then ignites the propellant, and that burning gunpowder will create a gas. Okay, modern smokeless gunpowder creates an extreme amount of pressure, and so this high pressure gas then pushes the bullet out of the barrel. Okay. Okay, our modern ammunition is what we call cartridge ammunition, and there's two types of cartridges, and the name is based upon the location of a primer. In a center fire round, the primer is in the middle of the base of the round. In a rim fire, the entire rim of the round is contains the priming compound. So if the round is fired by the firing pin striking the rim of the case, it's a rim fire. Otherwise, it's probably a center fire. Okay, you want to make sure that you only use the correct ammunition for your gun. All right. A lot of times, differing size ammunition will chamber in your gun. Like for instance, you could put a 9mm round in a 40 caliber semi-automatic, but the round is not big enough and can actually explode inside the chamber. So you want to make sure that you use the right ammunition for your gun. And the size, the caliber of the firearm can be found on the barrel of the gun. Okay, it can also be found on the head or the bottom of the cartridge, and also on the box of ammunition. You want all those to match. And it's really important to note that the firearm is only the launching pad for the ammunition. The ammunition is what does the job. You know, people go to Cape Canaveral to see the rockets launch, okay? But they don't go to see the concrete pad, all right? We get kind of caught up in the coolness of the gun, but we forget that it's the ammunition what does the job. Now, both handguns and rifles use cartridge ammunition, but shotguns are a little different. Shotgun round is called a shotgun shell, and generally it's a plastic case reinforced with a metal base. Even though you can find some that are metal and you can find some that are paper, most modern are plastic. Okay, and shotgun shells can either hold a single projectile or lots and lots of smaller projectiles called shot. Now, generally, ammunition that you buy from a reputable manufacturer isn't going to have a lot of malfunctions, but it is possible. So it's pretty important. So we did a whole entire video on ammunition malfunctions, but basically you have misfires, hang fires, and squib loads. Misfire means you pulled the trigger, the round was struck by the firing pin, but it did not go off. A hang fire, same thing, but there's a delay. And the last kind of malfunction is called a squib load, and that happens when you have less than normal pressure when you fire the round. A lot of times if you have a squib load, the round can get stuck in the barrel. Now, when you pull the trigger on the gun and you get a click and no bang, you really don't know if it's a hang fire or a misfire. Okay? So we're going to treat both of them like we would a hang fire. Because basically with the misfire, the way you fix it is you put a new round in there. All right. Well, if you have a hang fire and you think it's a misfire and you eject the round goes off as it's flying through the air or as it lands on the ground next to your toe. That's a bad day, right? So for safety's sake, we're going to treat a misfire and a hang fire like it's a hang fire. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep the gun pointed down range. We're going to take our finger off the trigger and wait 30 seconds. And if the gun doesn't go off, then it's not a hang fire. We can go ahead and eject that round out and put fresh round in. All right, when you're shooting the gun and you hear bang, 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 and then a pop or a whiz or a whistle or a wee or something, the reduced noise, reduced recoil, something different, you might have had a squib load. And the way you deal with a squib load is you unload the gun, then you check the chamber and the barrel for obstructions. Generally, the way you do that is you just put a cleaning rod through the gun after you have cleared it and made sure that it's empty. All right? Because you do not want to have a squib load with a stuck round and then you fire another round behind it. All right, that was all pretty quick, but basically we talked about ammunition and that it consists of a cartridge case, primer, propellant, and a bullet. When the firing pin strikes the primer, it starts a chain reaction which causes hot expanding gas to push the bullet down the barrel, and that it's vitally important to only use the correct type of ammunition for your firearm. Make sure the markings on the barrel match the markings on the round. Failure to do that could cause some problems. Okay, so as always, we really appreciate you watching our videos. Please comment, let us know how we're doing. If you have any questions, you can always catch us online at www.tngun.com. Thank you.